of the Well of Mercy. It's a transitional home for women who find themselves homeless in poverty and victims of domestic violence. They find themselves homeless for a variety of reasons, sleeping on people's couches. They come from other shelters with really no place to go, no other person or family that is able to help them at that time. They come to us looking for someone who will walk with them during that time.
So carry it in since you made the cake. Frosting is pretty good too. Where's the other part? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alina. Happy birthday to
The women and their families can reside at the Well of Mercy for up to 5 years. The Well of Mercy offers on-site daycare, allowing the mothers to work or go to school. The family model helps the women develop the necessary skills that each will need when she graduates the program. Through individual counseling, the women can heal from past wounds, live in the present, and prepare for a good future. To help the women transition into independent living, the Well of Mercy has developed Phase 2, an intergenerational home which will offer independent living. The women will pay rent and manage their day-to-day activities while living in community with senior women. Phase 2 will focus on seniors who have the desire to maintain independence but a better alternative to a nursing home. Residents will share meals, socialize, and provide meaning and purpose to each other's lives. The program is ready, we just need a building.
So my doctor tells me that sitting is the new smoking. So if you could just stand up for 1 second, let's get the blood flowing again. I think we've all just had a pack of cigarettes, so that feels good. Now you can go ahead and sit back down. Now the blood is back to your brains and your hearts. I want to give a shout out to Mary Zion, who started the Well of Mercy. We wouldn't be here without her. And also, I want to thank Sue Cahill for coming. She's our on-site therapist who works with the moms so beautifully and helps them heal from past wounds. And we've got Becca McKay, who is kind of the glue on our team, who helps do anything and everything we ask her to do for all of us. So thank you guys for being here and supporting me present this about the well. We have a lot to learn about elephants in the wild. That might be surprising to you, but I think it'll make sense. This is a picture that's rarely found. This is called the circle of life. And elephants do this when one of the pregnant moms in their tribe is having a baby. They circle up shoulder to shoulder with the pregnant mom in the middle of the circle to allow her a safe place to have her baby. And they kick up dirt to throw the scent off track for any prey that might come try to get this vulnerable mom. And this is a beautiful picture because after the mom has her baby, one of the elder elephants steps inside and kicks dirt on that brand new born baby. And it's not to be mean or cruel, it is actually to protect that child from the sun. The dirt gives the skin a layer that it needs. Then that elder mom comes back to the circle, they reform, and they trumpet as loudly as they possibly can to celebrate this new life. And they continue to let that mom be in the middle, bonding with her baby so that the baby can begin to eat and nurse. And this is the way that they care for one another. I think it's a great metaphor for the Well of Mercy because we are providing a safe place for vulnerable moms to come live in our home for up to 5 years. During that time, we allow these moms to heal from past wounds. Often they come from circumstances and situations that are unthinkable to us. They have been victimized by the very people who they trusted the most. They have been homeless. They have been broke or broken. And this is a place where they can come process that They can get an education that will allow them the opportunity to be stable in the future. There's a lot that goes into each mom looking at her specific situation and how she can take the next steps. It's pretty formulaic. We live in community. The moms are on a schedule of cooking together, and everyone eats together Monday through Thursday. The rest of their living is done in a private room with their children, but then everything else is community. This is a program that sets up people with some things that we all take for granted as families, but it's ritual. It is the idea of being together and caring for one another that lends itself to a very beautiful, beautiful life and a joyful place to live. The Well of Mercy is fiscally and socially responsible because it is a long-term solution. We are not bringing people into a temporary fix and then sending them back out to end up being dependent on the government again. It is a clear pathway. It gives them the tools to equip them to go on from poverty to prosperity. And it protects the dignity of life, which I know everyone in this room cares about deeply. The reality of single motherhood is staggering. 1 in 4 children in the U.S. are being raised by single moms. That translates to about 11.3 million kids right now. And 60% of the homeless families in the U.S. right now are headed by single moms. That translates to a lot of money. Our government is spending about $990 billion a year on welfare programs, and half of that roughly is going to these single moms with kids in their care. The Well of Mercy is graduating single mothers who no longer need to rely on this assistance, so that is critical for our society. It is the answer. We are creating that gap between telling single moms they need to get on their feet, they need to have their babies, and they need to get it together, but people are not giving them the tools to do that, but the Well of Mercy is. We are that answer. The power of story is huge, and I think it will give you a picture of the kind of person that is living at the Well of Mercy. Myra's name has been protected for her privacy. She was orphaned at a very, very tender young age. Coming across the border from Mexico, her mom died of heat stroke. This catapulted her into a life of danger. She was cared for, I use that term loosely, by people that were not caring for her. She ended up in a horrific situation where she became pregnant at 14. She had to drop out of school to care for that child because she did not have a network of people around her. That catapulted her into another pregnancy, and that is when she found the Well of Mercy. She came to the Well of Mercy, and one of the first things she got to do was grieve her mom's death, which was never given to her before. She then went on to go back to school and graduated with not just honors, but high honors. And now she has gone on to further education and will be graduating in the medical field, and her kids are thriving, she is thriving, and she is now equipped to be someone who is not reliant on the government, and she is full of joy, as are her kids. What's next for the Well of Mercy? Well, I think that what we talked about earlier is the dignity of life and how everyone here cares about that like we do. That is from conception until natural death. And one of the things that we see is that these moms that are getting ready to graduate from the Well of Mercy have loved living in community. It gives them great joy. It is the family that they did not have before. There's another population that is lonely and isolated and in crisis, frankly. That is elderly women who are living by themselves. And right now, elder care in our country is way too expensive and subpar for the people who actually go into elder care. This is the answer. We have an ingenious answer to that problem. We're going to take the women from the Well of Mercy who are graduating after 5 years, and they're equipped to go live on their own, but they still love to live in community. We are going to put them in a home with elder women on one floor, elderly women on one floor, and these moms and their kids on another floor. They will all have their own space and pay rent for their own almost dormitory room, but they will cook together, they will eat together, they will live in community together, and this will be life-giving to both people. You might ask, how in the world can you help with this? And you can very easily help us because you have a lot of business skills and acumen that can apply to us immediately. One way is rebranding. Our original mission included the single moms that were in crisis that were coming to our home. And as we want to incorporate that with the intergenerational home, we need to rebrand our mission statement that makes sense, that people can grasp easily, which would include an elevator pitch and marketing material that we could pass out and people could glom onto and come alongside us. Real estate. Now, we currently live in and own our building, which is a former convent. And it is the ideal setup. It was God's perfect provision to us because each mom, like I said, has her own space, but then the kitchen, dining room, living areas, playroom are all in community. Something like that would be perfect for this intergenerational home. But maybe we haven't thought of everything. Maybe there's a real estate consultant or guru that would be able to show us a former dormitory or maybe an assisted living area that went kerplunk because it frankly was subpar. So we'd be open to other creative ideas. Yesterday's group presented some cool ideas for us. So if you have any passion about real estate and want to talk to us, please join our circle. Finally, social media. As Mary said, our social platform could use some work. And so anything you want to offer in that area, we know we can do better. And we know we need to be out there presenting ourselves in a really formulaic, concise way that makes sense for people to grab onto. So how do we get that exposure? How do we do that well? And I want to close with saying thank you because I think you are all here because you're rooted in your faith. And God calls us to carry one another's burdens. That's how we fulfill the law of Christ. So thank you for that, and thank you for being passionate about wanting to come alongside ministries. There are amazing opportunities here today to really support people that are doing God's work, and you're doing God's work by being here today and coming alongside us. So I just want to leave you with this visual that sometimes you're on the inside of the circle, and sometimes you're on the outside of the circle, and both are incredibly important. So if you wouldn't mind, come to our table and be on the outside of our circle and let us be in the middle today. Thank you to Mary, thank you to Tommy for letting us be here today. It's a privilege to be at this podium, and thank you so very much.